my goodness, I can't say that like that. That's too mean. Okay, let's try this again. Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. I was a little hesitant to make this video for a number of reasons actually. First off, it's not really my goal on this channel to like offend people's sensibilities or make fun of people's aesthetics. Like, you have the right to enjoy what you enjoy, and especially in your home, which is supposed to be such like your sacred place. My approach when working with my clients is to provide solutions to their problems and like offer suggestions to elevate your space visually within the frameworks of your own style and what you're comfortable with. It's not my goal to like override someone else's aesthetic with my own. I've also seen just a lot of like unpopular opinions videos that come off as like really mean-spirited and just unhelpful and rude, and that's kind of not my goal. That all being said, I do want this channel to be more than just a place for me to share educational content or reviews about different appliances or functional solutions. I would really like for this to be a community of people who know a real version of me versus a kind of like sterilized, sanitized version of me that I'm putting out for YouTube. And the real version of me has opinions and is kind of snarky, and here we are. This video is made in jest. All opinions are, of course, just my opinions. Please don't feel offended for liking something that I don't. Now that we've got all the pleasantries out of the way, we can get into the unpopular opinions, and we can start with those goddamn pumpkins. Unpopular opinion number one is that fall decor is garbage. There, I said what I said. It's out there. I said it and I meant it. Now, I know that the pumpkin spice girlies are going to be coming for me. That's why I wanted to wait to make this video until we were well into December and everybody was kind of focused on Christmas decor, because I know how much the girlies love fall and fall decor, but I feel like we have reached a tipping point that we've gone over the edge of the tipping point, and it's really actually my fault. Like, I forgot how bad it gets. I don't know how. I must have had like a momentary dementia moment a couple weeks ago when I was walking into the Target. Now, I wasn't going into Target for anything home decor related, but you gotta stop by the, you know, Joanna Gaines, Studio McGee section of the Target just to see what's what. But as I'm walking toward the section, I can see kind of out of the corner of my eye like a lot of orange, like a significant amount more orange that I'm expecting, because it's a little early for Halloween decor. But as I get closer, I realize what's happening, and I was assaulted, visually assaulted by the overwhelming sea of pumpkins. Pumpkins everywhere, pumpkins galore, just all kinds of pumpkins, glass pumpkins, wicker pumpkins, ceramic pumpkins, wooden pumpkins, sparkly pumpkins. There were pumpkins etched into mugs and pumpkins embroidered into blankets and onto pillowcases, pumpkins on welcome mats, pumpkins on plates, pumpkins everywhere, pumpkins galore. I don't like pumpkin. I don't like the taste of it. I don't understand really like carving pumpkins unless you have kids that demand that sort of thing. I get that it's a fall vegetable, like, yes, but I don't understand why or how, who allowed pumpkins to just take over this season. And how did everybody get it in their minds that just like piling pumpkins in a corner somewhere was decor? It's not. It's not. And this year I saw a lot of it, not just like the extra tacky, like Target-esque fall decor, but it seemed like everywhere I looked, people had like just like 3 pumpkins, like just 3 pumpkins lined up. One of them was white. Did Trader Joe's or like Aldi or somebody, were they selling a 3-pack of these pumpkins, like with one white one that everybody was just like putting on their coffee tables and on their mantles and on their like front lawns and calling it decor? Because like what was everybody like sacrificing to a pumpkin god this year, and I just was left out of it because like what is up with the pumpkins. And I know like right now it seems like I'm railing on the pumpkins just because like it's, I think, the most offensive and most egregious of all the fall. Like pumpkins are like the spokesperson of fall, and they are the most egregious. But it's all fall decor. Like it's all so chintzy and almost always so poorly done. And it's so sad because I love fall. Fall is my favorite season. Like I love the change of the leaves. I love the cool, crisp air. I love fall weather. I love a sweater and you can wear a little dress with your stockings underneath it and boots. Like I love all of that. You know what I don't love? I don't love beautiful fall colored oak leaves in shiny plastic arranged on a poorly assembled door wreath. I don't love giant wicker cornucopias staged to look like a mountain of mini gourds are tumbling out of them as centerpiece decor. I don't love antique wagons filled with apples and sparkly pine cones or come back with pumpkin spice welcome mats. Like I just think everything about fall, because it's not really a holiday, it's so hard to commodify, and so we've just put like price stickers on the bottom of pumpkins and called it a day, and it is like a disaster that needs to stop desperately. And like I said, I really do enjoy fall, and it also makes sense for a lot of people. I mean, I guess people who live in like places that have actual seasons where fall is a time where the weather changes. Fall is a good time to swap out decor. It makes sense. You need things that are like heavier and cozier and warmer and just like a different color palette when you're moving into fall. So it makes sense that fall would be a time that you are reevaluating your space and making swaps. But why is the swap that you're making including pumpkins? I don't know. In the spirit of being helpful, which I am eternally, I'm gonna recommend doing something that I have termed decor bounding, which is styled after Disney bounding, which is what Disney adults have to do when they go to the Disney parks and want to dress up like a character. But Disney says, absolutely not, you will not confuse our customers. So Disney adults will come dressed up in the style of the character. You obviously know who they are by like how they're presenting themselves and the colors, but they're not dressed up like in an actual freaking beast suit with the hair and like stilts to make them tower over people. Like it's an homage to the character instead of the actual character costume. And you can do the same sort of thing in your house for decorating for fall. Decorate your home in the style of fall, as an homage to fall instead of as a direct copycat. So what does that mean? It means no pumpkins anywhere, literally anywhere. If you want to incorporate a little bit of that like pumpkin color, I think it's a little harsh in my opinion, but a great place to do that would be with some like linen napkins for your dinner table. So you got that really beautiful bright pop of orange color on a high class reusable linen napkin for your guests when they come over. I think that would be really lovely at Thanksgiving, and it's not a pumpkin centerpiece in the middle of your table. Literally any swaps for things in those fall colors, you know the palette. I think that would be a great update to make for fall. Swapping out your textiles is probably going to be a great way to do this, especially if you're in a place where you're actually needing heavier textiles. Maybe you can swap your white cotton summer sheets for a beige or linen cream color sheet. I also seen a lot of really beautiful duvets and like comforters that are in a deep, rich, like burnt sienna color, which is obviously going to look beautiful for fall. Accent pillow covers could be another great update for this time of year. You could swap from your lighter colored pillowcases to maybe dark brown pillowcases, maybe a pillowcase that's in leather with like a really rough edge stitching. I've seen some really beautiful spherical accent pillows that are finished in green velvet, which would also be really beautiful for fall. Anything in like a knitted cotton, sheepskin, lambskin, maybe jacquard even. Anything that's like heavier, warmer, just kind of screams more fall to me. Fall also makes me think about more like organic, rustic finishes, like things that have been outside in the weather, decaying. I don't know, something about the death that needs to happen during fall so we can have the rebirth of spring. So that to me screams decor with natural finishes. Maybe you can bring in some concrete candle holders, maybe bowls that are stoneware or finished in like a concrete or cement kind of texture. I really like stoneware dishes as well. So if you're going to be swapping out your plates or your serviceware, your dinnerware for your holiday dinners, a beautiful set of stoneware might be really appropriate, especially something that's like untreated, kind of like that brown earthen color. I think that could be a really beautiful addition for your fall table. There are a lot of decor items that are in like natural stone or wood or cement that I think could be really great options to add to your space, to just add kind of a more deep, moody, intense feeling to accompany the heavier textures and deeper colors that you'd be swapping out for fall. And now your home feels a little bit more appropriate for the season, a little bit cozier, a little bit warmer, a little bit more insular, a great place to invite people over to and wow them with your decor. And there's not a pumpkin in sight. My unpopular opinion number 2 is that if you aren't rich enough to have 2 living rooms in your home, you should not have a Mario Bellini sofa. Now, this is an especially ridiculous opinion and it's kind of multi-layered, so let me unpack it for you. First off, I am showing pictures of the Mario Bellini sofa on the screen. I'm sure you've seen this sofa. We've all seen this sofa. At this point, it's very popular on Instagram and in design magazines. It's a very popular sofa with people who take photos in their living space professionally and post those photos on Instagram. Now, that is not a knock to people that do that. I too am a person who occasionally takes photos of my space and posts them to the internet. But I say that all to say that this couch is specifically popular with those people because having a well-styled home around the couch is part of their job. And if you don't have that, this couch is ugly. This couch is god-awful ugly. And very few people can pull off having this couch in their space. It's just not an attractive couch. It's very low to the ground. This is especially like a no-go if you're in a small space. It's cutting off your option to see to the floor and to the wall behind it. It just makes your space feel smaller when your furniture doesn't allow you to do that. It's just, if you have this couch just by itself in a white room, like white background, it's ugly. This is an ugly couch that only looks good in an impeccably styled space. Like the space of somebody that has a lot of money, that's able to have a stylist or some assistance in figuring out how to make this couch less ugly, or someone that has the money to have different beautiful items of decor and art that they rotate around this couch to make it look good in the space as a whole. This ugly couch only looks good in the space of people that have the money to make this couch look good, because the couch does not look good by itself. And unfortunately, most of us, including myself, we are not that girl, and our houses are not that house. So my whole thought on the Bellini sofa is that it is a fantastic sofa for someone with the money to have 2 living rooms. The first living room is where your Mario Bellini is. It's in the corner underneath like maybe your Picasso and next to another stunning piece of work, and it's kind of like the room that people pass by where they go down to the actual living room, your living space where you hang out with your family, where you kick your feet up and watch TV, more lived-in space, probably where you have your equally ugly Restoration Hardware cloud sofa. Coming for everybody today. My third unpopular opinion are about Boucle and Rattan, 2 items that are being used in interior styling like salt when they should be being used like saffron. Similar to my opinions on the Bellini sofa, my thoughts on the use of Boucle and cane rattan is that they are great in very limited circumstances. I think Boucle and rattan are beautiful accents, and I think they add a lovely finish to a space when they are used sparingly. Unfortunately, I feel like we have moved beyond the era of Boucle and rattan being like accent pieces and accent finishes, and just to all out domination in the interior styling space, and it in my personal opinion, not the look. In the last few years, it seems like everything in the home decor space has started to become made out of boucle and rattan, and I just like, I don't get it when it's used in an overabundance. Like a little cane webbing used as the accent on your dresser drawer fronts, perfection, beautiful. But a little cane webbing on your drawer front accents paired with a rattan headboard, paired with a rattan chandelier, paired with a cane back armchair. And now I'm wondering, like, is my room about to set on fire? Like, why is there so much rattan in this one space? I have very similar opinions about boucle. Like, I think a boucle accent pillow is great, like that little bit of like texture contrasting to your sofa or the chair that the pillow is sitting in. I think that looks really cool. But lately I've been seeing people just have like entire sofas made out of boucle that like it's just, and is it me, or like, does boucle as a fabric not seem like it looks raggedy? Like every time especially these large white sofas that people are buying, they just look like so, like they're gonna age so poorly. And like if you sat down and put your hands down and ran your fingers across, like I just feel like your nails and your bracelet and your ring would be getting caught on all of the nooks and crannies. And I feel like for the price of some of these items, they had to have figured out those issues, because there's no way I'm buying like a $500 armchair or a $3,000 sofa that's made out of boucle only to have it be ripped and snagged within the first week of me using it. But when I look at those items, that's what I think. I think like, wow, this is gonna look really raggedy and beat up, especially with the white items. Like they make boucle obviously in other colors, but it's very popular in white. These sofas, like these giant white boucle sofas, like I'm just not a fan. I'm just really not a fan. Sparingly, again, let's move on. Unpopular opinion number 4 is not going to be a surprise to anyone who is watching this video right now and can see what's going on behind me, or has watched any of my other videos, and that is that extreme minimalism and all beige everything decor is boring. It's just boring. It's obviously not my taste, which is fine. I can appreciate a well-styled space. That's just not my particular aesthetic, but these extreme minimalist spaces are just boring. Even the well-executed ones, they're just boring. It screams like uninspired. I don't have the ability to figure out how to incorporate color into my space, so I'm just gonna call it black and white chic. And you know, it's just, I don't know, a lot of times when I see like a really like well done minimalist space, it just gives me like the vibes of like the entranceway of a nice like wellness spa / retreat, but not like a home that I'd want to live in. Like there's no warmth in the spaces, and there's no, to me, interest in any of them. And I'm really happy to see that we are kind of like moving out of an age where like the extreme minimalism was everywhere, and we're kind of like moving back into like embracing color and like a little bit of maximalism and art. I just like, I want to have a home that feels like a nice place to come home to, not just like some like austere, like boring palette where brown is the accent color. You know, life is too short to live like a homeless person when you have money to afford to fill your house with nice things. So let's just go buy a piece of art. So my last unpopular opinion is about the use of books as decor. And I don't want the booktube community to come for me, but I'm going to admit outright that I don't like the look of having a bunch of books just lying around. And that's not to say that I don't read, which although I could definitely be reading more than I'm reading now. And that's also not to say that I dislike books. When I read, I do prefer to have a physical book that I'm holding and running through the pages versus like Kindle or even listening to an audiobook. So I get it, book lovers, I do. But The idea of having like just dozens of uninspiring young adult novels and like self-help books and like just meaningless books sitting around my house taking up space and like organized in a non-inspiring way, it just kills me. It just kills me, and it doesn't look good. I feel like most people that live in small spaces do not have the space to pull off an aesthetically pleasing library. Again, I know this is probably gonna piss off a lot of people who are big fans of books. In my opinion, unless you have the space to have like a wall dedicated, like an entire wall, end to end, floor to ceiling with books and like some decor items, and they are good books, like interesting books. Most people aren't collecting, you know, classy leather bound hardcover books, right? We're reading and collecting stacks of books about wizards, vampires, and werewolves, rich guys with weird fetishes, and random self-help books. Like that, in my opinion, as a collection altogether, does not look very visually appealing in a library unless you are able to hide those books amongst a larger collection of books against like a wall of floor to ceiling books. And if you can't do that, if you don't have the space, it just personally, it does not add enough to the space to make it worth my while. And this again is especially true for people in small spaces. We are limited on space. Books take up a lot of space, so if you can't do it right, don't do it. Just go to the library, get a library card. Having fun isn't hard when you have a library card. So that's kind of like group one of like the basic book decor people. Book two are people that have like coffee table books as decor, but it's like the same like 6 coffee table books that literally everybody has. And it's just like, first of all, these are probably not even books that you've read or thumbed through. But second of all, they're literally the same books that everybody has. Like that Tom Ford book, there's like 1 or 2 books from Chanel, there's like a couple books from Louis Vuitton, like one of them has like a print of the monogram trunk on the edge. Like they're so boring and basic, and I don't know why, when there's literally millions of coffee table books that you can get out there, new books, vintage books, like any sort of book that can fit someone's decor, that can fit their space, why people go out and get those boring basic books. Like stop, just stop. Now I completely understand using coffee table books to style your coffee table, to style your end tables, to give height to different vignettes that you're styling. I just don't understand the use of these, like, I don't understand the clutch that that one Tom Ford book and like a couple other books has on the coffee table book market, that literally everybody has these same books. I would definitely encourage you to venture out, to be a little bit more creative with your coffee table book shopping, to go a little bit more unexpected, to have something that's really more of a conversation starter, because that's also part of what a coffee table book is supposed to be about. People are hanging around your coffee table, that's like something they're looking at. It's hopefully a book that you've read or flipped through. You can talk about it. Like, I recently posted a video that talked about my holiday gift shopping guide, and one of the gifts on my guide was actually a coffee table book for somebody that you know, whose style you know, whose home you've been to. And I specifically recommended coffee table books from Taschen because they are visually stunning. You can get a really big book for a pretty affordable price, like under $60 for some of these really big, beautiful, well-printed coffee table books. And they're not the basic coffee table books that absolutely everybody has. So I think these are, like I said, a fantastic gift. But also, if you're looking to elevate your coffee table book style and you've got those basic coffee table books that I've been talking about, and you want to add something maybe to stack on top of it to like give a little zhuzh, I'm gonna link some of my favorite recommendations from Taschen down below, and just like in general encourage you to go for any other option than the basic option that everybody uses for coffee table books, because it's just, it's so bad, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say detracting from your space, but you could be elevating your space so much more if you got a book that like everybody didn't already have, in my opinion. And that's it, folks. Some of my most closely guarded unpopular opinions about interior style and decor. I hope I didn't offend anyone too bad. If I did, remember, I don't have to live in your house and my opinions really don't matter. So if you made it this far and you can still stand the sight of me, I would love to invite you to subscribe to the channel. I make videos here about interior style, small space styling and decor, plants and art and all that jazz. If you liked the video, I mean, I don't know if you would have liked the video, but if you did, I would invite you to like the video and let myself and the YouTube algorithm know that you liked it. That's very helpful. If you made it to this part of the video, you're the real MVP. So thanks for watching. Stay safe as always, and until next time, guys, bye.